Hello family, friends, and fellow hunters. Today's November 13th, 2015, and this is the second episode of Cooking with Greg after a successful deer hunting trip. First episode was November 2013, and second season we didn't get a deer, so there was no episode. So this is the second episode in the third deer hunting season, and we were successful this time. First episode we cooked tenderloin. This time we're going to cook a deer stew. Diane's not here right now to push off and on the camera, so I'll have to do that as I prepare. So, first thing I should point out on this third deer hunting season is Dave, Craig, Greg, three licensed hunters, and two trainee hunters, Katie and Shannon, were with us. Opening day, within, I believe it was 20 minutes of legal shooting hour, Craig brought the first deer down, a real nice doe. The next day, David and Shannon got their very first deer, a doe. A story about that, about how it came to them later. And then the third day, I got a nice 5-point buck. So 3 days, 3 deer, all for each hunter. So it was pretty amazing. This is a hind roast. I didn't realize that they wrapped it all up, but we're going to cut the rope off and cube it up into 1-inch chunks for this stew. Hopefully it's okay to make stew out of a roast, and that's not sacrilegious. But we have a really good recipe for beef stew, and I'm going to use the same one for deer, and we'll see how it turns out. The other thing I should point out is I'm wearing the same clothes that I had on 2 years ago exactly. Yellow and the blue cooking pants. But now that I've shown you that, I think I'm going to change, because this one has a stain on it now. Okay, we're back. I chopped this up. It's beautiful, I'd say. Really nice, lean, nice looking meat. Excuse me. So I got some onions chopped up here too, 3 or 4, and half a cup of flour, salt and pepper. And we're supposed to coat this meat with the flour, and then we'll be browning it in excuse me, a Dutch oven in coconut oil. Once that's done, you take it out and set it aside, and then put the onions in. Cook them, and then add some tomato paste, and then add the meat back, beef broth, and cook it for 2 hours before adding the vegetables. This stew wants you to cook the supposed to be doing, I'll do about half this, then I'll empty it. You cook the meat so it's tender before you put the vegetables in, and make the vegetables all a disaster. They always go soft and mushy. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Well coated. The flour bits will stick to the pan in the coconut oil and caramelize, and you scrape all that off the bottom of the pan, and that adds to the flavor. And then someone else does the dishes. Okay, I'll get that on the pan, and then we'll take another picture. So, we'll do a little wander. Hopefully this autofocus is working properly. So you can see how they're getting a little crispy. You're not supposed to stir it a lot. That's the first batch. The second batch is still on the counter. And we'll put that on right now. Okay, this is coming up to the tricky part. The onions have basically been cooking in here. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see that. The pan's that's all the flour and spices stuck to the bottom. And that's what no more oil, just cook the onions like that. And then put the cup of red wine in. Oh, no, I forgot the tomato sauce first. Tomato paste to stick to the onions for a minute. I'm going to change to a black shirt. Hunting shirt was too hot. Cold outside here today. Got a little bit of snow for the first time. It actually stayed on the ground. Okay, that's good. Stir it around so it actually really does stick to the onions. I think that's got a official cooking name. Give that a minute. Lid back on. Check my instructions over here. Oh yeah, leftover flour. That's why we have instructions. Leftover flour from the meat. Well, that looks good. Stir that all up into a gumbo, I guess. And then the cup of red wine. And that's supposed to soften up the bottom. Look at that, it's actually doing it. So you can scrape all those golden bits off. Last time I did this recipe with beef, it didn't work. Might have had a little too hot. That's unbelievable. Wine can be used as a cleaner. Of course, I used Paraquita, which was my good luck wine down in Huron County, where we shot the deer. Not sure which field it was in. Oh! That is absolutely perfect. Now I think I'm supposed to add the meat next, back in. Double check. Wait for it to thicken 3 minutes. Wait for it to thicken 3 minutes. I think that's thick enough. Look at that, doesn't that look fantastic? Back in with the juices and 1 Tetra Pak of beef broth. And bring it up to high. Looking good. Uh, 3 bay leaves or 4. I might put more beef broth in there. It looks like it's going to evaporate down. And thyme. How much thyme? Thyme. 4 palmful dry thyme. I like measurements like that. 4 palmfuls. I modified this recipe, that's why it's like that. And it has to be not ground thyme, just dry thyme. So that's 1 palm. It's a new measurement in the hunting world. 2. So there's only salt and pepper and thyme in here. 3. I have to buy more thyme. Put that on the list. 4. Okay, I'm not going to add more liquid because I won't be following the recipe then. So this is going to simmer for 2 hours before we put carrots, celery, and mushrooms in. And cook that stuff for another hour, but then they won't be soggy. That's the whole trick of this recipe. Non-soggy vegetables. And you can see that if I I don't pour it all over myself. So yeah, those other vegetables will add more liquid, so, and the mushrooms. So we'll let that come to a boil and be back in a minute. So things are smelling pretty good. It's only been on for 45 minutes. Nice chunks of roast. Nice color. So at 5:30, give it 2 hours. I'm just as low as it'll go to keep it bubbling. Simmering, then we'll add garden carrots, celery, and mushrooms.